Generation Zero have just posted the Guerrilla Research Update patch notes, and it looks quite interesting with a hell of a load of bug fixes in there and the stuff we covered in today's video. If you haven't checked that one out, I would strongly recommend doing so. It'll be in the top right hand corner. There is loads and loads of new stuff coming to this one: weapon augmenting, weapon skins, new procedural missions, and then of course, obviously the usual stuff. DLC, which, yeah, it happens, we know. Now, this one though looks interesting, especially the weapon augmented part. Very excited to see how that goes. It's November and we're excited to talk about the Guerrilla Research Update, releasing tomorrow at 10 AM CET. As you might have seen on our social media channels, it contains augmenting, free cosmetics DLC, and much needed fixes. So first things first is the weapon augmenting. We love to give you more ways to customize and adapt the way you play. Weapon augmenting is a big step in that direction. Offers new challenges, reinforces and empowers your individual playstyle, and diversifies the existing range of weapons more than ever before. Not to mention giving those of you who have been hoarding their resources something to spend them on. Now, the big question about this is, will this enable standard weapons to rival the experimentals? Hopefully it will, because that will definitely broaden the horizon for the weapons and the playable weapons that players are always going to come back to. Currently, a lot of people are just using the experimentals because those are the best in the game, and unfortunately there's nothing really that rivals them, which is a shame, because it pretty much completely removes all use for any previous weapons, regardless of what star they are, unless you just like the look of them. But when it comes to power and getting the job done quick, experimental's the one. Now, the weapon augmenting will consist of two parts: research and crafting. The research is done in the new tab of the same name, and it has you complete different gameplay challenges in order to unlock the augmentation designs. And then this is one of the examples here. As you can see, research complete, destroy 10 machines without them noticing you. And then down here, we've got the different design tiers, which become stronger as they progress, but the challenges required to unlock them also become harder to complete. And then as you can see here, we've got the designs that will be applied the weapons of 2 to 5 crowns rarity. Now, the designs can be applied to weapons of 2 to 5 crowns. So the application of designs happens at the cosmetic. Fuck off, I can't even talk tonight. These designs can then be applied to a weapon of 2 to 5 crowns, and the application of these will be done at the consumable crafting station, which is now split up into consumables and augmenting. This is how it will work. First, you'd select the weapon that you'd like to augment, then select the design you want to apply, and the application costs of an increasing amount of resources based on the quality of the design that you'd like to get. Now, as you can see here, they do look to be relatively high when it comes to the actual parts itself. So, the lead 17, steel 50, weapon parts 2. Is that right, or is it the other way around? I'd assume it's the other way around. Yeah. The white is the one that you've got. Yeah, that's relatively high. So you're going to need a hell of a lot of resources. So if you haven't already done that, I'd recommend definitely going out and grinding them. But know that overriding or removing an augment does not refund any of the crafting materials used to apply it. However, upgrading to a higher tier of the same design will subtract the cost of previously equipped tier. These are primary and support augmentation designs. 2 and 3 crown weapons can have a primary design applied to them, whereas 4 and 5 can have 1 primary and 1 support. We've decided not to allow experimental weapons to be augmented, as they're already quite strong, and the interaction between an experimental weapon's innate effects and the augments might lead to a lot of unexpected scenarios. It could still be something we want to consider in the future, but for now this feature will stay exclusive to regular weapons. Oh, so they haven't really done it to balance it out. They've done it just in case augmenting experimentals completely destroys the game, which, yeah, alright, understandable. And then next we've got procedural missions. After we released the first 3 procedural missions, we had a lot of feedback about them from you. Mainly to things you thought could be improved: the length and the missions and the rewards. For this iteration, we've added 3 new quests for you to complete on a weekly basis. They should now take around 10 minutes to complete, and we've tweaked the rewards you get from them to be more satisfying. Now, that is much better, but they also said 10 minutes for the last ones, and you could complete them in under a minute. So, yeah, hopefully these are right, and they are more than 10 minutes long, because that will definitely engage players a little bit more. It is a shame that you can only do them once a week, It would have been nice to have this just as a little daily login, but maybe that's something they'll progress to in the future. So the first one is Resistance Dead Drop. Find a cache of resources, stash by the Resistance, and figure out a way inside. That sounds quite fun. That does sound quite cool. Resistance Radio Maintenance. Perform repairs and maintenance. Resistance Radio Maintenance. Perform repairs and maintenance on parts of the Resistance radio infrastructure and a high-value target, which is obviously take out a high-value machine that's roaming around a radio transponder. We'll continue to monitor feedback around procedural missions and keep finding ways to make them more engaging, fun, and challenging. We will continue to monitor your feedback around procedural missions and keep finding ways to make them more engaging, fun, and challenging. Please let us know what you think about these new ones, especially compared to the previous 3. We highly appreciate your input. Now, I've been playing the procedural mission in the background. Relatively fun. Definitely lasts a hell of a lot longer than that previous ones, which is good. It's definitely much better than beforehand. And yeah, the 10 minutes thing, I can see how it could take some people 10 minutes, but you can do them relatively quickly. And it's definitely not under a minute like the previous ones were, which is obviously much better. And hopefully they continue to add many, many more. Now, it wouldn't be a Generation 0 update without the usual. A micro DLC, which I'm not actually going to cover because I have absolutely no interest in it. I'm going to show you this image here, which has the micro DLC. They do look relatively cool, but I don't see the point in paying for weapon skins. So, as you can see, you've got the Phoenix, the Apocalypse, and then the construction, basically. That's meant to be the first set, not the military. What are they called? Bollocks. Name's just gone from my head. Now, the cool thing about the Phoenix and the Apocalypse set is, as you can see here, they glow, which, yep, I will agree, that does look quite cool. You can even get some bits for your companion as well, as you can see here, and make your companion glow a little bit. But, once again, it is a usual stuff, micro DLC. You can also get a little bit of a voice box for your companion, which is here.
Systems online. Structural integrity compromised. Target acquired. Firing weapon. Status back to normal.
Which, yeah, is quite cool. And then we've got the free cosmetics. If you're unsure about a cosmetics pack, we've got you covered with the Guerrilla Research update. All of you will be able to loot 6 new weapon skins and 1 new companion voice box. Now, these weapon skins are the graffiti art, which look relatively cool. I do like the look of these ones. They definitely add much more of a street and younger feel to them. Whereas, you know, you're just a bunch of teenagers towards the start. So you want to spruce up your guns. And yeah, I think this looks quite cool and really fits in with the vibe of a fresh apocalypse survivor, should we say. So the Resistance has found a way to express themselves and the chaos that they're going through in beautiful weapon looks. These skins will be added to the loot pool of the new procedural missions that you can expect to appear starting with the update. There's also a companion voice box as well with this one. And that one is something that is once again lootable, same as the previous ones. Now, last but not least, the ability to mute the companion has been added in the form of a disconnected voice box. Simply choose the option in your companion customization menu, and your trusty friend will be a silent protector from now on. So obviously people have got a little bit of annoyed with the companion being a little bit too chatty, but there we go. So alongside that, there is a whole host of bug fixes. As always, we have a slew of fixes and improvements that also included in the update. Namely, we've made performance enhancements, and the game should now be running much smoother. In future patches, we're going to emphasize performance even more, so expect more of these changes to come soon. The Continec finally displays the correct stats between 4C and 5C variants. Machines have been made easier to loot, and several quests have been updated to prevent mission blockers. PC versions have received a significant change in performance when tabbed out of the game, and multiple missing textures, terrain holes, and missing collisions have been fixed. We hope you enjoyed this update as much as we did developing and testing it. Generation 0 dev team. Now, as per usual, if you want to check out the full list of bug fixes and the full letter from the team with the patch notes, it is in the description down below. For today, though, hopefully you've enjoyed. I've enjoyed playing this update. It's been relatively fun. It's nice to have something new to work towards, and a little bit of variation in actually how you can work towards those rewards. It will be a lengthy process if you do want to get stuff like the augments for every weapon that you've got. Once again, they are not available for experimental weapons. That I do feel like is something that would potentially come to a DLC at some point. But we'll see. We'll see. For now, though, I have been Wired. You've been awesome. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you very soon with some more.